welcome back to Hitting a Bunch of Chaos. It's your girl Avery, and we're here to talk about life struggles, abuse, and more. Before we get into this video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the Chaos if you haven't already. Make sure to turn on that post notification bell. Follow me on TikTok and on Instagram. Hello, YouTube. We're back with another one. What did we talk about last time? Oh, we talked about healing. We touched base on aftermath, healing, and I remember telling you guys a little bit about what your upbringing can do to your future. And that's what we're going to talk about today. Generational trauma. Whoa. Just give a round of applause for that. So, generational trauma. We all know it as maybe your parent going through something when they was a child and inflicting it on you, and then you having a child and you inflicting it on the child, so on and so forth. But let's dig a little deeper into this. So, I'm going to tell you a little bit about me. When I was a child, I was hit, I was spoken to wrong, degraded, not there for it mentally and emotionally. And it sounds crazy. It sounds like, dang, you have like a rough childhood. But it's not that. I want you to read a little bit more into this, especially if you do have children. So, or if you're planning to have children. So, growing up, it was always, well, I put food in your mouth, and I put clothes on your back, and I put a roof over your head, and I took you to school and went to parent-teacher conference. Say you send your child out into this world, and you're trying to basically tell them to protect themselves, and you say things like, oh, if somebody puts a hand on you, put a hand on them back, like that's self-defense, or don't let nobody degrade you and talk to you crazy, and hold your respect and stuff like that. And you tell them, don't let any man, speak down on you and tell you that you're not worth anything. Like, there was none of that in my household. Like, none of that at all. There was no mental and emotional presence, I want to say. So as I got older, I got into a relationship that literally was the same thing as when I got older. The only difference was the fact that I was in a relationship versus it being with parents. But there was no difference. There was still hitting. There was still mental, verbal, and emotional abuse. It was normalcy, the big word. Normalcy in a sense where I was so set on believing at this point, because it was normalcy to me. I was so set on believing that, you know what, if my parents spoke to me like this, it's alright if he speaks to me like this. Like, it is what it is. I done went through it my whole childhood. What's to stop it from happening now? And guys, that's not okay. Be there for your children. I have this friend. Let me tell you a little story, right? I have this friend. I'm not gonna genderize anything right now. No parent, no child, no nothing. So we're gonna abbreviate, code, whatever. I have this said person, this said friend, is a wonderful parent. From the beginning this person became a parent, this person has not laid a hand on that child. This person has spoken to that child in a manner of calm, patient, the right way. And maybe there is no right way to speak to a child, but I do know that I want to say hitting, I want to say yelling, cursing, all of the above. Let me take a water break, y'all, because clock that. Hold on. Okay? So I want to say all of the above is not the right way to obviously discipline your child. So say you have a child that, I don't know, broke something, right? Say your child broke a laptop, hypothetically, and you go and you show them the laptop and then you hit them. Now the child is crying. Depending on the age, especially under 8 for real, I want to say literally under 8, they're not going to understand and fully grasp what are you angry for? What are you hitting them for? Why are you hurting them? They're going to cry, and if they cry and they go on timeout, they're going to stop crying. Something else is going to happen, and that thing is going to skip their mind. And if you don't put them on timeout and they stop crying and they go on their tablet, they're not going to get any kind of, knowledge as to they were being told no or they're being bad or whatever the case may be. But had you shown the laptop and told them, hey, maybe make something up about the laptop. You could make up lies. You don't have to hit them. If the laptop is no for them to use, you would not have that laying around. You would not have that in their presence. So maybe you could make up a lie like the scratches or the cracks or whatever and say, hey, this can hurt you. This can cut you. Don't do it again. Because if you make the cracks, it will hurt you. Something is better than hitting the child, because the child is going to cry and is going to look at you so confused. Like, why did you just hit me? They're going to be confused as to why you angry, because your aura and your energy is definitely proven angry, and children read that. And then on top of that, not for nothing, but a kid is going to cry over pain, and it's not going to stimulate. Why? Because they were just brought into this world. Do you, as a person, not kind of understand that even when you're 20, 30, 40 years old, you're still learning stuff? So what makes someone in their damn right mind think that a 3-year-old or a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old or a freaking 10-year-old is going to understand what you mean when you hit them? Especially not explaining anything. Especially if you're not there for them mentally and emotionally. Now, there's a difference. If you was there for them mentally and emotionally, and you did things like, if they were being bullied at school, right? And they told you, this person is bullying me because I'm too fat, hypothetically, right? You can say things about, and I'm not talking about past, don't be connecting the two, y'all. I ain't talking about my past, but hypothetically speaking, because there be some trolls out there. So I feel like if they came home and told you that, and you sat there and was like, you're beautiful, don't let anyone body shame you. You can be fat, you can be skinny, you can be whatever the hell you want to be, but you're being you. And that's what's threatening them. That's what's, making them feel like they don't like you and they want to hurt you because they admire what you have and they don't have it. Stuff like that, that's maybe uplifting or something, there's real life. I feel like when you talk to a kid, like on some real life adult stuff, they understand a little bit more, because I kind of had to talk to myself like that, raising myself, because nobody was doing it to me. Nobody was sitting here telling me, well, what you go do at home is not going to define you in your future. If you're getting hit at home, that doesn't mean when you get into a relationship or when you get older, you let anyone put their hands on you. Just being, talking and being there is the most important thing. And when it comes to generational trauma, this is my opinion, y'all. Don't quote me on it. But the people who were born in the 60s and 70s, that would make them roughly between 40 and 60, around there, right? I genuinely feel like they do not understand what it's like to mentally and emotionally be there for someone. They have went through the whole generational trauma for real, in terms of their parent did something to them, so then they did it to their kid, and so on and so forth. And let me tell you something right here. This whole generational trauma thing, it needs to end. I wish everybody can go into 2025 with not passing on your... Stop the cycle. What is going on? Y'all, I feel like nine times out of 10 relationships, kids, like all of this be ending and going down the drain because you tend to think that because what you went through as a child is okay. No. Like if you're maybe 18 watching this and you're just starting your future and you're trying to, and you want a family in the future and stuff like that, and you have probably been through something crazy in your life, definitely find the happiness within you, heal yourself before you go and find out anything about your future. You have to find out who you are. You have to literally heal that child, because if you just kind of blowing through life and doing through life, you're like, yeah, I'm enjoying it. We all have one life. Do you want to just always go through life on autopilot, kind of flowing through and just letting those thoughts creep up late at night when you got a sad show on and a bucket of ice cream? Or do you want to go to the therapist, heal it, work on it, and then guess what? Check this out. Now, when you have a family and you have your little setup going on, everybody happy and stuff like that, everything flows. There's no, if your husband says something crazy, you're not being triggered because it's something that you went through in your past and you didn't get over it. If you had a child, you're not acting the way that your mother acted or your father acted to you towards your child. Why? Because you went to therapy and you done said, you know what? I got hit as a kid. I don't understand why I got hit as a kid. No one explained it to me. But you know what? It is what it is. It's the past. When I have a family, I'm not going to repeat the cycle. When I have a family, I'm going to speak to my child in a manner that I wish I was spoken to when I was growing up. That's how you change the cycle, y'all. You get it? So I just feel like this whole generational trauma thing is so whack, so whack. I know too many people who literally do it, and it's like, bro, then you wonder why your kids are not respecting you. You wonder why maybe your partner is even looking at you crazy because, like, they didn't probably go through that, you know? So definitely heal from your childhood so you don't continue the generational trauma. And I'm going to put an air quote on that, or parentheses, or whatever the fuck you call that, because don't let it be a thing. Like, don't even use it as an excuse either. Like, don't not go to the therapist and then when you get into something, you're like, oh, it's just trauma from my past. Like, no, sweetheart, we have to do better, right? Now, on to the next topic, because there was something else I wanted to talk to you based, what was that talking about? Oh, so, triggers, y'all. We spoke about triggers in the last one, but let's get into what triggers really are and what is actually inside of. So triggers can be inside of your brain, of course, but they can be in your body, y'all. Muscle memory. Check this out. This is a good one. So, y'all ever seen a girl flinch when you go to, like, maybe touch her or something? She be like, flinching or whatever. Trauma. You ever maybe went to a certain place, or maybe something that you touched that was related to your trauma sent chills down your spine or made you hot, and you kind of thought, like, maybe if you're a female, you kind of thought like, oh my god, am I going through early menopause? Or if you're a guy, you probably thought like, damn, it's hot here. Trauma. Muscle memory trauma, y'all. It's embedded in your body. So a lot of people aren't aware, right? Sorry for the mic. I'm trying to get, my leg is falling asleep, y'all. A lot of people aren't aware that any trauma that you go through is going to live within inside of you. Especially if you're not doing the right things to heal, of course. But they kind of often just be like, oh, I have triggers because somebody said something, or maybe somebody's tone of voice, if I heard that voice when something happened to me, you know, it bothers. But like, where is that trigger coming from? It's not coming from your brain, it's coming from your ears. Like, everything is kind of like muscle and body like. You know, maybe like you heard something and it sent the memory to your brain or something, but you still heard it. Or maybe, hypothetically speaking, a friend, I don't know, y'all. I'm trying to think of like something crazy that would be, you know, really trapped inside your body. Because I feel like I've talked about all my things. I want to say, hypothetically speaking, someone you know or somebody or whatever poured something hot on you, and maybe it gave you like third-degree burn, right? Now, every time you probably rub over that scar or you see that scar, it probably gives you anxiety. Or did I just say that? Anxiety. Lord. Anyways, it probably just gives you a rush of just the trauma, right? Muscle memory. So I haven't done it yet. If y'all know of any way to heal out of the muscle, I don't know if it's called like holistics or something, but feel free to DM me on Instagram or send me some reels or TikToks based off of people that you know, because I'm trying to get into that. I want to be able to take the trauma out of my body, shoot, but I just know that it's embedded in you. Take care of that, people. Take care of that. Generational trauma and muscle memory. Y'all, I don't know if y'all could really hear too much of my background. I be trying to keep it as quiet as possible, but this is not a production, honey. This is a podcast, so. But my cats be making noises in the background. I want to introduce you to them, but they sleep right now. Sorry, y'all. Also, I think my neighbors are arguing. Crazy story. Oh my God. Interlude real quick. So when I moved into my apartment, right, I ended up having neighbors that argue and fight just like how me and my ex did. Lord, let's take a thumbnail. Bro, when I tell you, they're just like, it's like I'm the neighbor that was neighboring when me and Mr. Wrong was beefing. Y'all get what I'm trying to say? Like, you know, the neighbors that was around when Mr. Wrong and me was going at it and that they was pissed off. I'm that neighbor now. Ain't that crazy? And I was like, this can't be my karma, because it's not like I was purposely screaming and yelling like to bother the neighbors. I was screaming and yelling because I was being hurt. Like, I was being attacked. Everything hurt, especially being punched in the eye, because that pain is so crazy. That scream is so loud. But they literally remind me of me and my ex. Is so bananas. Like, what? But yeah, back to the story. So I definitely do believe that generational trauma, I want to include that, because that's still a thing. You know, going through any type of trauma as you're young. I don't know how y'all don't be over me with these freaking word mistakes, but basically, any type of trauma that you went through when you was younger, any type of trauma that you went through, period, in your life, before you're kind of on your own, if that makes sense. So your childhood and your teenage years, before you go and get your own crib and start paying your own bills and have your own family and stuff like that, the years before that, whatever trauma that you went through before that, right? When you start to move on and live your life as an adult, right? And you want to get you a family and a house and all this other stuff, you are going to be living a certain lifestyle, the same lifestyle that you did when you were younger if you don't heal from it. So like, basically, say hypothetically, right? As a child, I'm gonna make y'all laugh at this one. Sorry, I'm changing my voice real quick. But say as a child, you grew up with somebody always talking to you in like this harsh tone and demeanor, and they always telling you things like, yo, that's not how you do things. Like, yo, what I said, do it right. You know, certain things. Sorry, y'all. Certain things that's just, it makes you tough. Like, is tough the right word? No, it makes you rough. Like, if you're a female, you're not like a soft girl. It makes you rough and makes you mean, and kind of just looking at life like, fuck everybody, Now, if the person that you want to be is a soft girl, you need to heal that. Because if you don't heal that, you're going to go into your future life not being a soft girl. You're going to talk to your kids the way that you were spoken to as a child, right? Or, matter of fact, I know this saying people use like, oh, when I become a parent, I'm going to be nothing like my parents. Well, honey, let me tell you something. If you do not heal your childhood trauma, you're going to end up being just like your parents. So, yeah. Change the cycle. That's what I got to say. Because, Lord be, y'all crazy. The things I be seeing, like, and I really want to shed light real quick on emotional and mental attention. That's the right word, attention. Be attentive with your kids. Like, I know there's probably people that have seen celebrities get nannies and they're not there with their kids, and the nanny's always there with their kids. Well, if you're not there emotionally and mentally for your kids, it's the same thing as having a nanny. Miss Rachel is going to be there for your kids more than you're there for your kids. Because 9 times out of 10, you're going to make sure they eat. You're going to probably take them to the park and they're going to interact with other kids. You're not even going to be in the park interacting with them. You're going to be sitting on the bench somewhere on the phone. Like, what's the point? You don't play with them at home. You let them sit on a tablet, or you let them sit and watch the TV. You're not being attentive with your kids. Show your kids attention. That's how you change a cycle. Be there mentally. If your kid what happens to the birds and the bees talk? True fact, right? Yeah. Now that I think about it, true fact, y'all, I have never had the birds and the bees talk. Not from my mama, not from my father. I'm trying to really go back and dig deep to see if anybody else told me. But I do believe it wasn't until sex ed class in high school that they showed us some movie and some movie and told us wear condoms and stay away and HIV and stuff like that. What happened to, what's the word? Is it chivalry? Is it like, I'm such an old soul. Like, I believe in like families sitting at the dinner table, no phones, talking about how each other's day went and maybe what they have planned for the week, or talk about vision boards. Like, those are things that would fall under being there for your child mentally and emotionally. At the end of the day, they probably went through a book of stuff in school. You probably went through stuff too during your day. And y'all just keep it bottled up and y'all don't talk about it. And then next thing you know, the child goes into the room. You probably go on your phone. And then that's how y'all just live your lives. No. Talk to your child. Figure out what they got going on. How they're feeling. Learn your child. Build a relationship with your child all around. Don't just feel like it's so important to clothe them and food them and a roof over head, and don't feel like scaring them by hitting them. Hitting them is going to make a difference, because the same way you go out into this world and you tell your child when they go out into the world, like, oh, don't let nobody tell you I'm gonna put you in your face. But then if they do something or they say something that is out of the world and you don't like it and you feel like it's disrespectful, you go around and say, oh, watch your mouth before I put you in your face. You know, like, how as a parent can you really say you're protecting your children when you're not protecting them from you? You get it? Or, like, am I making sense, y'all? Because I feel like 9 times out of 10, that's really an issue. Oh my God, I can't stress this enough. That's really an issue. You cannot go and scare your child, the person that came from you. And how do I say, like, I'm trying to think of the word, but like, you basically make your child intimidated by you, or like just fearful of you, and not really kind of maybe differentiating, like, no, be scared because I hit you. They're gonna be scared of you all around. They're not gonna want to trust you. They're not gonna want to come to you for things. They might even go around and involve themselves in so many extracurricular activities just to be away from you, because you aren't being attentive with them and you aren't having these conversations, but rather you're scaring them and you're yelling at them and cursing them out and just being so like, when you get home you're gonna get it. You know, like, who's gonna want to go home? Let's be real. Who is going to want to go home? Not me. I'm gonna stay my ass out until 8 o'clock. I think that's the last time after school activities, you know, whatever. But yeah, like, I just don't understand how people can literally just keep it going. Like, kids. And then, you know what bugs me the most, y'all? Because I get that there's some people that, you know, that pregnancies don't be planned and stuff like that. But for the people who plan to have kids and then are that kind of parent, the parent that literally instills fear into their child rather than kind of explains to them wrongs and rights and help them learn and grow with them. How? That's diabolical to me. Like, you plan to have that kid, so that means that you plan to hit your child. Like, you said, okay, when I have a child, I'm gonna hit it. Because look, let me tell you something. For me, like, the way I feel, in my opinion, when I see a kid get hit, it could be a kid getting hit because they poured flour all over the floor. If you had flour, let's be realistic, y'all. If you had flour in a cabinet that a child can reach and did not have on a child lock, and then they take the flour out because they're able to get to it and make a mess, why the hell would you hit your child? You left it there. Oh, my fault, y'all. You left it there. You get it? Like, I just feel like people don't think, and if people just be using stuff as an excuse. Because if you're a parent, or if you want to be a parent, you have to know that kids touch everything. Kids are sponges. They hear and learn everything. So realistically, if you don't want your kid getting into your makeup and they're going to draw on the walls with your makeup, or they're going to draw on your couches with your makeup, or they're going to draw with pencils or crayons or whatever the case may be, do not leave those things in sight or in view for the kid to grab. And they won't be in that predicament. I just don't understand the world. I really don't. I don't understand humans. Like, if you take a kid to a park one time and don't take them for a whole month and then take them again one time, why would you get mad? And why would you get mad? There's no shade to nobody. I'm just coming up with hypothetical. Sorry, I'm just thinking, and I had an itch. Well, I had an itch. But why would you get mad if your kid is crying because they don't want to leave the park that they're going to one time, once in a while? I don't get it. This is bugging me, because nobody in the world is gonna heal as long as they keep it up. Y'all, share this video, please. Get this out to everyone. I need y'all to really understand that this is not a game. Like, every individual, yourself, your child, your parent, your sister, your cousin, your uncle, your grandfather, a stranger you never met, we all have feelings. We are all human. So the same way you treat the person that you're standing next to, for example, is the same way they're going to treat the person that's standing next to them, and so on and so forth. So, like, you know what kills me too? Dads. Well, men. Men kill me. Because why would you show things like maybe adultery around, is that the word, adultery, infidelity? Yeah. Around your child, and then expect them not to get with somebody who's messing around on them? Like, y'all gotta think. Just let that sink in. We're gonna end this video here. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, y'all, we need to figure out a way to end generational trauma. Like, this thing is ghetto, toxic, beyond toxic, and just like totally absurd, because I feel like it all, like I said, in my opinion, it's definitely originated in like people that were born between the 50s and the 70s. Like, I think, if I'm not mistaken, there's a lot of movies, and even the Kyle and Lyle Mendez show was around that time. And like, around that time, and like their parents before, they did not know the difference between hidden and, they would just, so many things have came into the world since then. So this is why, starting the new years and generations, we can do better, y'all. We can definitely do better. They didn't know back then, or they playing dumb. So let them, be dumb back there and back then. And from now on, we're going to be smart. We're going to heal ourselves. We're going to change the cycle. And we're going to just be happy as can be. So, welcome to anyone new. Thanks for watching as always. Tune in. Like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.